everybody, welcome back to 30 Days Until Done. I'm John Branningham. We're writing about ekphrasis this month, which is poems about artwork. And specifically we're working on paintings because that's a little bit easier to understand as you're doing these because it's two-dimensional. Okay, so I am today in Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Park, and I don't know if you could tell from this or not, maybe pan around a little bit, but I'm on top of a fallen giant sequoia tree. I just decided to climb up, and what I love about these is you can see that after a while they get their own dirt and they start to grow trees and all sorts of things out of them because they're so long lived. I guess so long dead, actually. And to me, when I was a kid, when I first came here, I was an Eastern kid. I had lived in Pittsburgh and in Europe and in Canada, and then when I was very young, maybe 5, I guess, we moved out here. To me, this was the most exotic thing I'd ever seen in my life. It was just exceptional, and it was just I'd spent so many hours climbing up and down ends of trees like this, as I just did today. And that's what we're gonna be talking about. I posted a painting by Frederick Edwin Church, and he painted a painting called The Iceberg, and this was a painting about the iceberg. And it came at a time when he was painting at a time when there was a lot of new exploration, and so it was there were all sorts of exotic things. And you know, when I was a kid, we used to talk about Bigfoot, and you know, I was convinced that Bigfoot was a real thing, and he was just wandering
convinced. Wait a minute.
Yeah. And he was wandering the forest. If you can imagine this, they found Bigfoot in the 1800s, and it was a gorilla, right? They'd heard these stories of this half man, half beast wandering around. They found it, and there were these polar explorers who came back and said, you know, there's these giant bears that hunt people. They're white, and they like have a black nose, but they go like that. They cover their nose and they pounce on you. So that's crazy. It sounds like Bigfoot, but it's true, you know. And so Church was one of these people who liked to paint the exotic, at least in this painting he did, and so he's painted the most sort of special thing you could possibly think of. Especially, it's, you know, we could now do air travel and kind of look down and see them, and a lot of people can do that. But back at the time, you couldn't do that, and so that's what he was doing. What we're going to write about today is that painting, and if you want to, the idea of the exotic. There's a lot more going on there though as well. The fact that it's an interesting painting to me because it's so calm, right? And it's so peaceful, and in a place where it's incredibly dangerous. And there's a contrast there too. The colors really knock me out in that painting as well, and his subtle use of tone and that sort of thing. You could write about that. You could write about your own experience of going. If you're T. Anders Carson, I don't know if Anders, you're looking at this one or not. You've been way up there in the far north, and I know you've dealt with polar bear warnings, which, like, you know, that seems pretty bad. Okay, so whatever your experience is, write about that. If it were me, I'd probably write about the idea of monsters and danger and that sort of thing. Actually, I know exactly what I'd write about if it were me, because, hold on a second, I've got this poetry book, and I'm going to read the poem. So on page 106. Okay, so this is The Iceberg, Frederick Edwin Church. Who needed ancient monsters when America had ice rising out of the ocean to run down ships in a sunless, darkening scene? Nature was both the evil that would kill Church's seamen and the sea, this time their calm mother saving foolish children. Okay, so that's my poem about it. And you can write yours, and then when you do, post down below and we'll have a wonderful conversation. That's our 7th day, I believe, about landscape art. I'll see you tomorrow.